Hey guys, welcome back to Speed's Epic Pranks. Today I'm going to be pranking my piano students by providing them encouragement, support, and guidance to achieve their musical goals. Remember, it is so much easier to motivate yourself with self-compassion than being way too hard on yourself and beating yourself up over the things that you're not able to do just yet. If you focus on the ways that you are growing, the things that you are getting better at, and also being kind to yourself about all of the things that are going on in your life that make it hard to practice exactly as much as you want and be able to perform perfectly, that is such a better motivator, and that's going to make it so much easier to sit down at the piano and practice than if you create a space during piano practice that is negative and where you're constantly beating yourself up and feeling all of the stress and anxiety. It's going to be so much easier to achieve your goals if you practice self-compassion, practice kindness towards yourself, and practice a positive mindset. And it's going to make it so much easier just emotionally and psychologically to approach practice. So I hope you guys enjoyed that epic prank. I think I really got him. And we'll now get into this week's lesson. Okay, so for this week's assignment, we are going to be jumping into Unit 15. The assignment for this week has you guys doing some harmonic minor scales and arpeggios, 2 octaves, hands separately for the keys of C, G, and D, and we will go over those. And you're also going to do one of the reading exercises from this unit and one of the harmonizations. And I believe, yep, everything that you are going to do is in this unit. So you'll be able to just flip right over to Unit 15, and that will be where you can find everything that is for this week. So I'm just going to go through in sequential order in the unit of what we're going to be going over. So on page 196, they're just having us go over the triads of the key. So just like we've done in major keys, we can also do that in our harmonic minor keys. So noticing the chord quality here, in harmonic minor we have a minor 1 chord, a diminished 2 chord, an augmented 3 chord, whoa, minor 4, major 5, major 6, diminished 7th, and back to minor 1. So you notice we've got a little bit more spice in the harmonic minor playing the triads of the key. We've got some minor chords, some diminished chords, some augmented chords, some major chords. So we're really hitting a lot of different harmonies, which I think really is what makes harmonic minor elite, superior. So over on page 197, on that exercise, so go through and play that in the key of A minor, which they have written out, and then also try playing that in some of the other harmonic minor keys, so D minor, E minor. I would recommend starting with some of the easier ones that only have, again, a couple of sharps or flats in the key. And then if you feel like you have kind of mastered those, go on and try some of the harder keys that have a little bit more of a complex key signature. So over here on page 197, these are some preparatory activities for playing the full scales, because last week we did the scales in tetrachord position. So this week you will try these in, okay, not important. So let me just silence that bad boy. Hang on. Okay, just going to put it under the bunny too, so it's not distracting. Okay. These are preparatory activities for playing the full major scale, or for playing the full minor scales. So you can see over here on number 1, we have practicing doing the passing thumb under. You guys have already done major scales before, so shouldn't be too bad. And then on number 2 is passing 1 under, 3 going down. And this one is probably good to practice because of the, we've got that minor 3rd in a harmonic minor scale. So there's that little bit of a squish between certain fingers and then a wider gap between others. So pretty good to practice. And then same thing, number 3 is just practicing that pass. And then reaching up and kind of finding that hand position right away. Same thing with number 4, just doing it with left hand. And then the number 5 is practicing that octave leap. So pretty simple. And again, these are all good exercises to help practice the key signatures and notes in the scale. So you could try each of these on any of the scales that you're struggling with learning the notes. So we will then turn over and we have practicing our group 1 keys for harmonic minor scales and arpeggios. So the really good thing is if we look over, so we have A minor on the first page. Let's look at that the finger numbers for the scale and the arpeggio. So we've got our pattern for the scale of the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for the arpeggio, you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5 for the right hand, and 5, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1 for the arpeggio. Okay, we've seen that before. That's the same finger pattern for the major scales. Same exact one for like our regular group 1 major scales. Then we look over and we look at E minor, and that one's exactly the same. We look at D minor, and that one's exactly the same. And we look at G minor, and that one's exactly the same. And we look at C minor, and that one is exactly the same. So, really, really, really simple. You just are using the exact same finger pattern. Last semester, again, we're trying to emphasize the importance of doing the correct fingerings. And this semester, we're going to emphasize that even more. So, make sure that you are using the correct fingers, especially because we're doing it hands separately. It's a lot harder when it gets hands together, and there's a little bit more grace if you slip and put 3 instead of 4 or something like that. When you're doing them hands separately, there's no excuse not to get that exactly right. And the really great thing is, why is this the right way to do the scales? It's because it's the easiest way to do the scales. And if you think that the way that you're doing them, not this, is easier, you are wrong. You're kidding yourself. It's not. No. Hundreds of years of pianists have decided, this is definitely the best way to do it. I don't think that you found a secret way that is the best way. Sorry to lay it down like that. Sorry to just be real. But if you think that you found some way and you're like, no, that's actually easier for me. No, it's not. Do it this way. So we're going to go through, and for this week, you're going to play hands separately, the scale and arpeggio for C minor, G minor, and D minor. Now, if this sounds hard, well, we just need to practice the finger pattern, and you need to know the notes. It's all hands separately, not that bad at all. So I'm just going to go through, and I will play the scale, and I think I'll say the finger numbers, because you should know the note names really solidly. So I'm just going to say the finger numbers, even though it's the exact same thing each time. I think that'll be the most helpful. So we're going to start with C minor, right hand, left hand, arpeggio, arpeggio, and then we'll go to the other keys. All right, here we go. 1, 2, C minor, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Left hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 right hand arpeggio. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 5. Keep your elbow out. 5, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Left hand. 5, 4, 2, 1. 4, 2, 1. 2, 3. 1, 2, Great, and now here is G minor. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Left hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Left hand. 5, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5. And here's D minor, right hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Left hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Left hand. 5, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5. So there we go. And then next week we'll do the A and E minor. So because we're going to do those next week, I'm not going to worry about covering those today. So we will go ahead and now turn over. And we have our solo rep. So again, this would be a choice for the 5-week exam. Would definitely encourage you to practice it through. And we noticed that just like last week, if we kind of pay attention to just the key areas here, very, very, very traditional. We noticed that basically at the beginning of each line, we have an A minor scale first, an A minor scale on the second line. On the third line, it's a C scale, because that's the relative major. And then back to A minor. And then we notice that we also have pretty common in the left hand, some A minor chords, and then we also have some moments of our E major because that's our dominant. So pretty traditional key areas that we would expect for a piece in the key of A minor. Noticing that the left hand is just mostly thirds, and then the right hand has a lot of this scale figure, and then these just... So again, paying attention to your finger numbers in this one, I will go ahead and play this through from the beginning. No repeats this time. Perfect. And now we will go over to the harmonizations. So you'll pick one of these three for your assignment this week, and you will also play it with the transposition that is listed. So what I would recommend is to go through and play hands separately. So play just the melody and then just the chords in each key. So play it in the original key first, then together, then play it separately, and then together in the transposed key, okay? So to start out with, we are going to be in E minor for the first one, and then we'll transpose down to D minor. So again, just run through in your mind really quick. We have 1, 4, and 5 chords in this. So in E minor, that's my 1, my 4, and my 5. And remember that 5 is a major chord. I know there are no D sharps listed, but it's a big 5. It's a capital 5. So you're going to play a major 5 chord, okay? So, and then make sure you start down, you're going to need to start down with the left hand an octave lower, because if you start here, that actually doesn't sound bad, but your hands are kind of on top of each other, so it might be a little bit easier to start down lower. All right, here we go. Ready, go. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1. Now down to D minor. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1. Great. Now we'll go on and we'll do number 2. So this one is in A minor, and we have 1, 3 augmented. So remember that G sharp. 4, 5. So notice that that little progression right there is pretty easy. 3, 4, 5. If you get that part, I mean, again, it looks like it's a little bit more complicated, but you're really just stepping up with the chords right there. So here we go, original key, A minor. Here's that 3 augmented. Now stepping down to G minor. Right, and then the last one, at number 3, we're starting in G minor, and in the chords we have 1 chord, we have a major 6 chord, we have a diminished 2, and we also have our minor 4 and then 5. So this one has more individual chords. So again, this would be a great one. Go through and play that that exercise where you just play the chords. The triads of the key for this one, because we basically use 6 of the 7. So it would be a really great idea to just practice that way. And this one I would definitely give it a try through, hands separately first. So here we go from the beginning. So again, a little bit of an easier transposition because we're going from a key with a few more flats to one that's a little bit simpler. Pretty straightforward. Again, the key with the harmonizations is to go through and practice hands separately. Practice just the chords. If you can't play the chords separately, you're not going to be able to play them when you try to add the melody. If you can play the chords in the original key, you're not going to be able to play them transposed. Work on that original chord progression. Just get that really solid. practice it hand separately, and if you get it really solid in the original key, it's a lot easier to transpose it. If you feel really confident in what's going on in the original key, it's going to be such a simpler process to just take it up or down a step. If you're not really sure what's going on in the original key, it's going to make it so much harder to transpose. So, don't feel like, oh, I don't want to waste all this time on the original key. I really want to work on the transposition. Opposite way, you should be thinking, let me spend a lot of time in the original key, and it's going to make it way easier to just move this up or down a step. All right, and then here are the four reading exercises. So no transpositions to worry about on these. So I'm just going to play through all four, and you'll pick one to play for the assignment. And here's number 2. And here's number 3. And here's number 4. And there we go with that one. And then we will come back. And then at the very end here, we have the last page is the improvisation from chord symbols. So these are, again, really great ways to practice if you need a little bit more work on the harmonizations. And it's also an opportunity to be a little bit creative. So if you look down at number 2, again, you would just work on filling in the chords first. And then all you're going to do with this one, it's sort of, they give you a template. They give you something basic to follow. It's not just a free improvisation where there's no structure. They're kind of showing you there's a little bit of a sequence here. Oh, I'm in the wrong key. And so you're following that sequence. So kind of giving something, and then you could take that from there and maybe be a little bit more creative with it. Or, whatever you want to do, you could just kind of take it from there. Same thing with the one up here. One thing I think that is really interesting is that you can harmonize this really beautifully by just playing ascending notes in the right hand. Ascending as you go. And then again, you could take that and just alter that a little bit. Start adding a few little turns or something like that here and there. And that would be a beautiful way to take something pretty simple and add just a little bit of creativity to it while also practicing your harmonization skills. So, and that is all we have for this unit. There's also a review worksheet, which is a really good resource to use for sure. So, as usual, feel free to let us know if you have any questions or if there's something that was not demonstrated in this video that you would find helpful for your practice. Happy practicing, and see you next time.